In this uncut video, I'm doing a kettlebell challenge, performing 100 repetitions of kettlebell swings with 50 kilos as fast as possible. So I'm not going to bore you with counting the reps or anything. I'm just going to talk a little bit about kettlebell swings and why I like the exercise, maybe why I don't like it. And took me something around 7 minutes to perform 100 reps. The first set I think is 25 repetitions, and then I go lower and lower until I'm at 12 reps per set, I think, in the end. And the kettlebell swing. Let's look at it. So you've probably heard before maybe that a kettlebell swing is best performed with a heavy kettlebell. You need to build it up safely and get to maybe feel how it feels with a small weight first. The problem with a small weight, though, is you can lift it with your arms, and you have many different options as to how to lift it. Here you go, super fatigued after the first set. Many options. So, for example, with a light kettlebell, you might bend your knees a whole lot and kind of do a kettlebell squat swings, which is a good exercise maybe, but just with a heavier weight, you would not want to bend your knees a whole lot. So you're going to see me primarily be using my hip hinge and my lower back kind of taking the swings. Probably really easy to see here from the back view without the shirt on. But look at my knees. They're not going to be bending a whole lot. And this is one thing that a lot of people do with light weights. The other thing is a light weight, you can lift it with your arms. If the weight is so light that you in any way can hold it out in front of you, like 12 kilos, 16 kilos, you can probably hold that in front of you for just a moment. Then that's way too light in terms of your potential for a kettlebell swing. Another set. And I'm just taking rest, walking around in the famous recovery circle. So we want the kettlebell swing primarily to be a hip hinge movement where you kind of bend over from the hips and with your forearms connected to your inner thighs in some amount, thrust your hips forward to swing the weight up in front of you. And the style I'm doing here is kind of relaxing my arms on the top. Look how my elbows are actually bent there. And then towards the drop, of course, I'm letting my elbow extend because of the weight falling down. So the best prep exercise for the kettlebell swing would be some kind of hip thrust movement. So I've done that in some of my classes with people lying down on their backs, thrusting the kettlebell up and down, or maybe using a partner for adding some load. Nice tired face there. Rather than, for example, squats, because that gets people in the squatting mode. So hip hinging. What else with the heavy weight versus the light weight? I mean, what's fun about the 100 rep challenge is depends what weight you take. So if you want to try the challenge, I'd recommend some weight where you're not even close to being able to do 100 reps without some kind of rest. For me, if I did, because another type of challenge would be with what feels like a lightweight for me, anything between 15 or 20 kilos, like 10, 15, 20, 25 kilos, I'd be able to swing that weight for 5 minutes straight and do definitely easily 100 repetitions or more. So the 100 rep challenge, it makes most sense to try it out if you're interested with some kind of weight that forces you to take rest. Either because of the grip, in my case here with the 50 kilos, definitely the grip is a huge factor besides the swing itself. The fingers and the forearms really start to feel it from just holding on because of that momentum part of the curve. With lighter weights, when I can keep going, I'll typically start switching hands and doing one-legged one or one-armed swings, and then it becomes really like back and upper back that takes the load because the back is never getting a rest. Also look at my heels. In that first rep, I'm just gonna rewind really small. Look at that first rep. On the first rep, my heels really lift. And then from there on is like my heels are stuck to the ground. But you can see at certain points there again, the heel is kind of lifting up. And this is kind of like there's this thrusting motion, almost as if I'm wanting to jump. And that heel raise, that activation of the calf is also a way of pressurizing the floor to push up the kettlebell. With lighter weights, you can even purposefully lift your heels up off the ground. So that's gonna sound weird to those of you who've been schooled in keeping your foot flat. But why, in fact, keep your hips flat? Often the hip extension is used for forward acceleration. So if I'm, bent over and I'm gonna like fall into a run, that's gonna be kind of the same movement pattern as in a kettlebell swing. And why not lift your heels? You're gonna lift your heels if you're gonna run. So when you kettlebell swing and you want to train your explosiveness, why do you want to strictly limit that to your like thighs and hips? Why not involve your ankle? Anyway, but with the really heavy weight, I also feel like I'd be wasting energy by lifting the heels up purposefully as high as I can. There's just all the power going into getting that weight up to my eye level every time. So yeah, if it doesn't go up to the head, it doesn't count. So that's why I'm trying to be really disciplined with this heavy weight to, on the very first rep, just smash it up to the level of my head. Oh, am I gonna cry now? Wow. Look, that guy needs some rest, huh? We're getting there soon. I'm not sure how much time is left, like just like a minute left, a couple of small sets before I hit the 100. What was I saying? Yeah, on the very first swing, just like a back swing, and then bam, come up into the first rep. So let's see when I start again. Look how I started out, so you get the most out of every set. There's definitely a tip to like let's see when I begin. So I'm gonna back swing, and then immediately get a rep on the first one, and bam, up to the level of the ice. That's what I mean, like not taking the extra few reps of like swing a bit higher and a bit higher. On the very first one, I think it's good kettlebell technique to just get straight into the pattern, into the full pattern, and blast through it. So this is my very last set, and that looks like a man who's suffering right there. So yeah, looking at this video, I don't really want to do this challenge again, but I guess I have to do it again at some point or another and see if I can get slightly under 7 minutes and 10 seconds or so. Maybe under 7 minutes would be nice next time, a bit less of rest. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this little kettlebell challenge. Let me know how it goes if you are trying it yourself. And if you want support with your training, you're always welcome to reach out on my website.